retirement, many Minnesotans look forward to spending summers at the cabin or simply relaxing after a long and busy career. Not so for Bob and Pat Tammen from the small Iron Range town of Soudan. Living just 5 miles from the Boundary Waters Canoe Area wilderness, the Tammens took advantage of the natural bounty surrounding them.
We're both clean water people. Even as a kid, I spent a lot of time on the water fishing, and when I met Pat, she was teaching in Ely, and there we are on the edge of the Boundary Waters. We both spent a lot of time in a canoe in the Boundary Waters, and we spent a lot of time in a canoe outside of the Boundary Waters. Minnesota has a lot of water resources that aren't necessarily wilderness. We're right down here in Duluth, and Pat and I, we used to have the canoe on top of the motorhome. Wherever we were, we'd throw that canoe in the water.
Bob and Pat spent their free time enjoying the good life outdoors, wherever and whenever possible. But now Bob, after working nearly 40 years as an electrician, often for the Iron Range mines, and Pat, who taught school for nearly 50 years, are doing something else. They're spending nearly 50 weeks out of every year traveling in their RV to attend conferences, public meetings, and events to speak up about their passion for our environment. That's real commitment. So why do they do it?
I think that people will get the idea that just ordinary people, you don't have to be a paid lobbyist or a paid anything in order to be active and speak up at committee meetings or hearings at the Senate or the House or anywhere where they're concerned about water. They need us. They need people that will get out there and do this. And myself, I feel that I want clean water for the kids that I taught in Ely for 30 years. I had first, second, third graders, and I want that water to be clean for those kids and be able to eat the fish as I was able to do.
If you have respect for your neighbors and accept everyone as your neighbor, they live downstream of us. We have an obligation to take care of our water and send clean water on to our neighbors.
You might ask, have they made a difference?
I think the fact is we have made a difference. When I see some of the actions taken by my neighbors, by the organizations we belong to, people are starting to accept the problem that we have water issues in Minnesota. The neighbors are starting to come around on that, and that's why I think it's important that ordinary citizens state your piece and get a little momentum going on accepting the science.
Mr. Tammen, welcome to the board.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members. I'm Bob Tammen. My wife Pat and I live in Soudan, Minnesota, home of Minnesota's first iron mine. As the years go forward, we should remember that the elimination of this citizens board still leaves us with active citizens, and we can look back just a few years to the legacy amendment, gay marriage. We had some struggles that were citizen driven, that were great successes, and we'll have more as the years go by. Thank you for your service.
Board members, you might not know that I dubbed the Tammens the official grandparents of the agency, not because of lineage, but because of attendance at all meetings. They're just like grandparents watching their grandchildren go to concerts and sports events and other family functions, and I very much appreciate their time that they volunteer.
Bob and Pat Tammen, thank you for your service to the people and resources of Minnesota.
Okay.
Are you ready for the adventure, love?
Yes, I am.
We don't get to do this very often, do we?
No, we don't. This is great.